a weak health service. They have a weak school infrastructure. They have bad roads. They do not have sufficient electricity within the communities. So public good is still needed. The truth is, a lot has changed. When I was last here, many years ago, these roads were not there. There was no electricity. The schools were having very bad infrastructure. A lot has been done since. This community now has a secondary school almost in every sub-county. They have a primary school almost in every sub-county. They have a health center 4, they have a health center 3s almost across the different areas. But you know, what they were telling you is we want quality services. What we've had in the past is quantity. Now we want to turn that into a qualitative service delivery, where we will find doctors in a health facility, where we shall find medicine. And you know, when you're poor, like our people here, the worst would be if you went to the hospital and they are asking you to go and buy medicine for yourself. It causes a lot of pain. When you are poor and you go to a school, or your child has passed to go to a certain secondary school or university, and you're not able to think about the sources of school fees, those things hurt the community. I have told this community that one of the things that we need to do is to let government start to invest in this infrastructure, which is there. Government has laid a foundation. Government will not bring money in the pockets of people. But government can come up with interventions now to start to make people make wealth for themselves. That's why you see the NRM under the president has been working to ensure that through the PDM, people get some money and they can invest and they start to, to accumulate wealth. But there is a lot to be done, more to be done. And that's going to be one of the things that I want to study the government interventions across the country and start to demand that these interventions also drop down here in Kibuku, in Bukedi, and in Kabweri Constituency, so that our people start to make wealth in their pockets and to have money. It's what is missing here. This is one of the few economies, few areas in these countries that do not have a particular economy. An economic activity where you say, when people wake up, this is what they do to make money. It's not here. If you've come from Buganda, they sell coffee, they sell matoke, a number of them, herd cows, cattle. When you go to the west, it's the same. When you go to the north, they have fertile soils. They are actually now supplying a lot of cassava, a lot of sweet potatoes, a lot of maize. When you go to Elgon in Mbale, you see food coming from there to feed this community here. So we need to start to think about what is it that government can invest in. Fortunately, about 2 years ago, we launched the regional strategic plan for Bukit And the president appreciated it, and he has said that, oh yes, we can, as government, put in 50 billion shillings to encourage people to have something that they do that now start to put money in their pocket. And that is the support I've said I'm going to give to the president, and together we shall work on a number of interventions that after some time you'll have people at least doing something. Remembering the fact that we do not have land in this community, because the average land ownership here is 0.5. So there are things that we cannot claim to be able to do because of the shortage of land. The president has encouraged people to put together their land as a family. It cannot work in this community. Why? Because most people in this community have got 1 to 3 wives. So the rivalism at a household level, at a family level, cannot permit people to use their land jointly. So we must appreciate that fact and think about interventions that will fit within that kind of society. For you to be. We are lucky. We have our land here. We are in the middle. You know, it's a plain land. We do not have rocks. We don't receive floods. No, we don't. Our land is actually the most suitable for settlement, to build a home. Unfortunately, the population here has grown that people no longer have enough land for, mostly agricultural activities. And the president has been coming up with skilling, institutions. Really, the whole objective is that when you're skilled, you can start something for yourself. Most people think that government will give jobs to everybody. Government doesn't have jobs. They own about 500,000 or 400 and something jobs in the public sector. The rest of jobs are either created by an individual like you or like me. So that people are engaged full time. I don't encourage somebody to wake up and think that he's going to go in government and get jobs, because the competition is very big. The other day I saw those who were applying, they were doing an aptitude test for a migration officer job. There were over 40,000 people. But they are looking for less than 30 people. Looking for 30,000, and the application, people doing interviews are about 40,000. What are the chances that you'll get a job? So the mind that people must get is to start to think, what can I do for me to make wealth and to employ others? I can tell you that. Here I am encouraging people to go to school because they cannot survive on land alone now. Let people study. When you study, you'll get skills, you'll go and buy your own land. And it will help you. So we are going to fight to ensure that our schools are functioning and that we get more skilling areas where people can get skills. They will go to Mbala and start a business. They will go to Lushenya and start their own enterprises. Of course, government should find a way of investing in this community in terms of a factory where people come and work. That one we are going to encourage. But it's not enough to absorb all the people you see in the townships seated from morning to evening. He has a wife at home. It's not enough. So we are going to look at screen out interventions that can help. One of them is already in Chibuko. the skilling center. We will fight to ensure that we get government to support the likes of Blangira General, so that it can reduce on the young people who are idle. It will give them jobs as we look at the long-term strategic intervention for this community, including people starting to grow coffee, including people start to grow cocoa, supporting those who want to keep chicken, birds, supporting those who want to grow whatever they grow, tomatoes, and so on and so on, such that people do not think about formal kind of employment for their survival. There's no country in the world that I know of that goes and gives its population money to go and invest. Most countries instead take money away from population in terms of taxes and focuses on the public good. I want to make that point. Government has put money through PDM. In this community, about 28 billion shillings. 28 billion shillings every financial year. Because every parish in this community gets 100 million, every village. Are we together?
Yeah.
Gets that money. If people use that money with a lot of conscience, they will make wealth. If you have 1 million shillings and you bought birds, whichever the number, after 6 months, you will have enough birds, chicken, to sell and make more money. They are asking for more. I am happy that government is talking about increasing the amount of money that's given to the parishes in terms of PDM. But it's also going to require discipline, that they have given you money for a purpose of multiplication, go and invest it, use it carefully, and make sure you get more money out of it. That is what I have advised people. Because even if government pumps money in this community without giving them financial knowledge, sensitizing them, many of them will go and marry more wives, buy mattresses, and drink it out. So we are going to have to do financial literacy as one of the core elements that's lacking within the PDM structure. Even when it was actually designed, there is need for more, but there is also need for people to know the purpose for which that money is given for these people.